Now at 9, we are tracking a line of showers and thunderstorms dropping through the area. I'm going to let you know where these are heading next.
Plus, it's time for our Feed the Four States Telethon. Get your phones out and call to support area food pantries. And local health officials say COVID hospitalizations are on the rise. Freeman health officials break down the numbers next.
The Four States' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Dow Quick. We're going to get to this in just a moment. Right now, the thunderstorms Doug Hetty have been warning us about for days. They're howling through parts of the four states right now. Doug is tracking them. Let's go to Doug live.
Now, this line of strong to severe thunderstorms has been slowly sinking in over the past several hours. They've lost a little bit of the punch that they had a couple hours ago across southeastern Kansas, but still strong to low-grade severe. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, and some very heavy amounts of rain. We still have the severe thunderstorm watch pretty much from this line point southward until midnight for us tonight. You can see some of the stronger storms from Stockton Lake and then right on the north side of the metro. So really from Carl Junction back through Baxter, Galena, Columbus, and then we have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings once you get into northeastern Oklahoma. We're going to break this down and figure out what's coming next here in just a bit.
We'll see you then. Thanks, Doug. Now, before we get to today's other news, you should know that you have an opportunity right now to help stock food pantries across the area through our Feed the Four States Telethon. This is a live look at our call center where we're accepting your monetary donation. Just have your debit or credit card ready and dial 1-888-620-4869. Crosslines is helping with the phones. We're going to have more on this telethon a little bit later, but call right now. As families prepare to visit loved ones for the holidays, area health officials say it's especially important to play it safe when it comes to the coronavirus. KOAM's Chris Warner has more.
The holidays are in full swing across the four states, with many people heading to spend time with family and friends. However, COVID is also still in full swing, with the Delta variant remaining dominant across the region and concerns about the Omicron variant in the shadows. Officials with Freeman Health System held a media briefing Wednesday discussing COVID in the area.
Well, what we do know right now, which is great news, is that the Omicron variant is not here. We have a lot of requests from the state that are asking for specimens to determine if there's the presence of that variant, and there is not.
In addition to COVID, flu season is here. Last year was pretty mild, with Liberty saying flu cases were in the single digits with all the precautions in place. This year, though, those numbers are up.
Currently, as we stand versus the last couple of years, and our numbers are very consistent and they mirror the 2019-2020 influenza.
Health officials continue to stress the need for vaccinations and booster shots. Larry Bergner with the Newton County Health Department says numbers aren't where they want them, but they're trending better.
Our vaccination numbers are increasing. We have about 32% of the population with at least one dose. We have 29, we're heading closer to 30% for those who have had both doses.
With news from the World Health Organization that the Omicron variant, while mild, can still evade vaccines, Bergner says vaccine and booster hesitation could be a problem.
Certainly that is a concern, that folks will wait to see if a new vaccine comes out specific to the Omicron variant. Our suggestion, our advice is to get vaccinated. We're still dealing with Delta variant, which the vaccines are very effective against.
Liberty says with so many spending time with loved ones, getting tested for COVID is your best bet to stay safe and healthy.
If you feel any reservation about whether or not you might have COVID, I would strongly urge you to do that, especially with the holiday season.
I'm Chris Warner for KOAM News.
As for where to get a COVID test, well, a number of local and national pharmacy chains offer COVID-19 testing. Access Family Care offers testing at its clinics by appointment only. Freeman Hospital also has drive-through testing available. If you have any concerns, contact your healthcare provider and they can tell you where you can go for COVID-19 testing. An escaped Ottawa County, Oklahoma inmate is back behind bars after he was found grabbing a beer. Charles Chance escaped from the jail early Saturday morning. He'd been on the run since until he was spotted grabbing a beer at a Chili's in Mays County. The Ottawa County Sheriff sat down with us today to explain just how Chance got out in the first place.
Was that she hit the north doors and then they said, hey, roll the south doors. So she hits those two buttons and rolls the south doors. And you can see on the video where the two jailers are going outside to deal with that arrestee that officer brought in. Well, while they're at the south doors waiting on that, Chuck Chance lifts up that cell door, opens it up, walks to the north doors, pushes on it and notices that it's open, walks outside, notices that it's really cold, walks back in, grabs a pair of sweats and leaves.
Sheriff says the Miami tribe will help his office replace the locking system on that jail. One of the area food pantries helped by the Feed the Four States campaign is the Salvation Army in Ottawa County, Oklahoma. The Salvation Army relies on volunteers and donations to provide food to area families in need, and that need is even greater because of the pandemic. The location in Miami is using a drive-through system to hand out food.
There's a definite relationship that is formed with the clients when we are able to provide food for them. Yeah, they always, we have several that will come back and say, hey, can we come help in the pantry too? And so that's always a joy.
The Salvation Army of Ottawa County hosts drive-thrus on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to noon. As we check back in with a live look at our call center, we want to tell you a little bit about how you can help some of the families in our community in need in this season. You can call right now, 1-888-620-4869, and make a monetary donation in whatever amount you choose. That money will pay for food to help stock the shelves of area food pantries, not just the Salvation Army, but also others like Crosslines and Wesley House. They tell us the demand is especially high over the holidays as many families struggle to pay bills. So please, let's keep the call center busy. Again, the number to call is 1-888-620-4869. Disabled veterans often struggle to find work after leaving the military, but one area business is trying to change that. Gibson's Farm, Firewood, and Forestry in Afton, Oklahoma is looking for extra workers to run logging equipment, farm equipment, and feed animals, among other services. So the owner is putting out a call for veterans to apply and says he can modify equipment to meet disability needs.
The logging company had an employee that got severely injured, and so they took their log loader and made the cab hydraulic so it lowered to the ground so this man could roll his wheelchair into the cab and keep his job. And I thought, well, I can't afford to do that, but I don't care. I'll pick a veteran up and set him in that machine every day for the rest of my life if I have to.
If you're a veteran and an amputee, you can reach out to Gibson online. You'll find the contact information on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Brian Blankenship served in the U.S. Navy from 1979 to 2010. The Carthage, Missouri native was stationed in Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Somalia. He received numerous awards for his service, and we salute Lieutenant Commander Brian Blankenship, a four-state hero. Doug is next with an update on the storms and a complete look at the forecast, and later a pair of local student athletes signed to continue their careers in the Big 12. We're going to hear from both of them in sports. In the meantime, the call center remains open. Please call 1-888-620-4869. Make your donation to our Feed the Four States Telethon.
It's that time.
Well, it definitely turned out to be kind of a crazy day for us today. We set record highs. We made it all the way up to 76. We had winds gusting 50 to 60. Then we get a powerful line of showers and thunderstorms rolling in during the evening hours, and they were even, well, actually quite a bit stronger once they were in southeastern Kansas. Now this whole line is kind of sagging off toward the south and to the east. Not quite as intense as what we had earlier today, but still they're very strong, right below severe limits, and can jump to low-grade severe thunderstorms as we continue on through the rest of the evening hours. But still, severe thunderstorm watches, northeastern Oklahoma, clipping Arkansas, southwestern parts of Missouri. If these storms have rolled through your location, you don't have any severe threats. So anywhere along and north of this line, you are looking pretty good. Let's go ahead, zoom in to the metro from Neosho up to Pittsburgh, Carthage, down to Miami. Strong showers and thunderstorms, heavy amounts of rain, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, really extending from Jasper, about ready to work into Carthage. over toward Webb City, Carl Junction into the action, back through Galena, Riverton, and then stretching west toward Columbus. Up toward Pittsburgh, you are done with the showers and thunderstorms. If we go a little bit farther east, still a pretty good line south of Lamar, a little more intense once you get over toward Stockton Lake. And then if we track back toward the south and to the west, so we'll go into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Here's extreme southeastern Kansas. Ottawa County, the storms are just working into the northern half of the county. So over the next 20 to 30 minutes. And then we got to watch this guy out across Craig County, Nowata County. It has intensified a little bit, so we'll have to see if we get a severe thunderstorm warning out across parts of Craig into Ottawa County. If we end up with any severe weather, the main threat here is gusty winds right around 60 and maybe some penny-sized hail. Tornado threat is fairly low, which obviously is always good news. Let's go through time. Let's go ahead a couple hours. Most of the storms along and south of Interstate 44 still strong to low-grade severe. These slowly work south and east. So here's midnight still in our southeastern counties. They really don't get out of here until about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and then things start to shape up for the rest of the night. Looks okay. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Still, the rain hasn't made it in to the Seneca area, which is on the south side of Joplin. Temperatures cooling down. Of course, we're in the 70s ahead of the rain and then back into the 60s behind it. Plus, you got to remember a cold front is rolling through, so our winds are switching around to the north behind these showers and thunderstorms, and this is going to cool us down just a bit as we go into the next couple days. Look at this system just really wrapping up across the northern plains. The thunderstorms extend all the way down into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Here's our next wave, which will start to affect us by the time we head into late tomorrow night and Friday. We get showers back into the region, maybe even a few thunderstorms, mainly along and south of I-44. So we still have a few hours to go tonight. 56 tomorrow, partly sunny skies. Showers on Friday, cooling down but drying out as we head into the weekend.
I know you and Nick Kelly are going to be keeping an eye on this through the evening as long as it takes to let us know what we need to know.
We'll stay here as late as we need to.
Thanks, Doug. As we check back in live with our call center, here's a fun fact about your donation to our Feed the Four States Telethon. Monetary donations like this to area food banks can be stretched to provide 4 meals per dollar. You can do the math. If you were to give, say, $25, you'd provide 100 meals to your neighbors in need, and you can give really whatever amount you choose. Every dollar obviously does make a difference. Just have your debit or credit card ready and dial 1-888-620-4869. The phones are ringing. One of the area recipients of your donation is Crosslines Ministries in Joplin. Hundreds of people rely on the Crosslines food pantry to help feed their families. They're always looking for donations to help, but things can get especially busy around the holidays.
Yeah, any food that's not donated to Crosslines, we have to purchase. And so Feeding the Four States annually helps us out a great deal, and that it allows us to keep food on the shelves during a season where a lot of folks are really strapped.
Crossline Ministries is at 320 South School Avenue in Joplin. Coming up, federal help coming to tornado survivors.
President Biden visiting Kentucky to get a close-up look at the communities torn apart by tornadoes, pledging the federal government's help to help them rebuild. I'm Mallory Rivera in Kentucky with the details coming up.
Joplin's Bacon Me Crazy food truck's making a big impact in Kentucky as it does its part for the victims of last week's tornadoes. Food truck was met with long lines when it arrived in the damaged area. Donations to a GoFundMe have allowed the owners to hand out cash and gift cards to folks impacted by that deadly tornado. The owners have pulled in nearly $9,000 through that fundraiser. They're providing updates on their Facebook page so you can follow along as they pay it forward. President Biden pledges to give Kentucky and other states affected by deadly tornadoes whatever they need to help expedite the recovery process that's only just beginning. Reporter Madeline Rivera has the latest.
President Biden coming to Kentucky to see the damages himself, providing assurances about the federal government's plans to help these communities rebuild. President Biden this afternoon getting a first-hand look at the devastation in Mayfield. The Kentucky town hit hardest by tornadoes that killed dozens across the South and Midwest.
I intend to do whatever it takes as long as it takes to support your state, your local leaders, and as you recover and rebuild, because you will recover and you will rebuild.
FEMA has sent search and rescue teams to the state, along with dozens of generators and thousands of gallons of water. Kentuckians are also stepping up to help their neighbors any way they can. Donation drives bringing in food, toys, clothing, baby supplies, nearly everything needed for people who now don't have homes.
The help that people have been providing has been wonderful. Like, it is just, it's wonderful. I feel it here, you know what I'm saying?
One man we spoke to drove up from Tennessee to cook up a free hot meal for anyone who was hungry.
I figured, at least, if nothing else, the people who was helping with the efforts of recovering people and cleaning up were going to need something to eat.
Kentucky's First Lady is also organizing a Christmas toy drive to help get presents under the tree for kids who lost everything during these storms.
The outpouring of support has it's left me speechless. I am just so proud of Kentucky and of our country for stepping up and helping these kids.
If you'd like to mail in a toy donation, you can find more information on the Kentucky governor's website. In Mayfield, Kentucky, Malda Rivera, Fox News.
Just ahead, the probe into the January 6th Capitol riot heats up.
Several of former President Donald Trump's associates refused to cooperate with the January 6th committee. We'll have the latest on one key Justice Department official coming up next.
We're taking calls only until the end of this newscast for our Feed the Four States Telethon. This is the only telethon of this sort that will be going on this year. So this is the time to call. It's 1-888-620-4869. As you see, some people are taking calls, but we have some open lines, so call right now. The Money Stocks Food Pantries right here, helping your neighbors, our neighbors, feed their families at a time when it can be especially hard to pay the bills. I want to thank Bob Billy of Neosho, a $200 donation. Roy Nichols of Joplin, thank you for your donation. Other donations coming in, people giving what they can, and you can join in. Any amount does make a difference. Please give us a call right now. One of the area businesses teaming up with Fox 14 for our Feed the Four States campaign is Westco Home Furnishings. Westco has locations throughout Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. Several of those stores are also Feed the Four States drop-off locations where you can simply bring non-perishable food items.
I just think it's important for us to be part of the community and kind of help out where we can. And I know that right now there's a lot of people that need help. So I mean, just to help out with helping the pantries with food and stuff like that, being a place where they can help donate.
For a full list of drop-off locations, just go to our website, koamnewsnow.com. The House Select Committee looking into January 6th is set to vote on whether to cite a former Trump Justice Department official in contempt of Congress. This as new evidence comes to light on the events of that day. Reporter Rich Edson is in Washington with the latest.
The congressional investigation into the January 6th attacks targets several associates of former President Donald Trump, though some key witnesses say they are refusing to testify.
Fearing the truth is not an excuse for not honoring a subpoena of this Congress.
After voting to hold former President Trump's White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, in contempt of Congress last night, members of the January 6th committee are turning their attention to Jeffrey Clark. He's a former Trump Justice Department official who tried to help the president overturn his 2020 election loss. Clark is evading congressional subpoenas and vows to invoke his Fifth Amendment protection against self-incrimination, like other witnesses.
History will not look upon any of you as martyrs. History will not look upon you as a victim.
Republicans are accusing Democrats of abusing their power.
They don't care about fairness or due process.
Though another Republican, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, says he's eager to hear the committee's findings.
We're all watching, as you are, what is unfolding on the House side. and it will be interesting to reveal all the participants who were involved.
If the committee votes to hold Clark in contempt, it'll refer the issue to federal prosecutors. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox News.
Up next, some key signs to watch for to recognize if your dog is getting stressed out during holiday celebrations. The American Kennel Club says Christmas activities can put stress on your dog. Yeah, the rest of us too, I know, but on your dog. Situations like loud noises, lots of new visitors and new environments, like, say, sitting on Santa's lap, could cause fear in your pet. And if you're traveling at Christmas, sheltering your dog could create separation anxiety. Experts say to watch for some key signs like dogs relieving themselves in the house, destructive activities, excessive barking, and pacing. Don't relieve yourself on Santa. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Some area elementary students learn a valuable lesson on charities and the season of giving.
Overnight, lawmakers voted to raise the nation's debt ceiling by $2.5 trillion. But now, Democrats are pressing for trillions more to pass the president's social spending bill. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with more on what's proposed coming up.
We're about halfway through our Feed the Four States telethon. Again, this is a live look at our call center where we're accepting your monetary donation. The calls have been coming in, but as you see, there are also some open lines right now. We know the need is real in our communities. We've seen it, we all have. Just have your debit or credit card ready and dial 1-888-620-4869, please. Call right now. Your donations go toward programs like the Water Gardens Food Pantry. Officials say they've seen a rising need this year as the pandemic weighs on people and CARES Act funding is running low.
We've really seen a steady kind of increase. Last year, I think with some of the additional funding that was happening because of COVID resources, we actually saw maybe not quite as much need, but this year it's been steadily increasing. So much so in the last couple of months, we've seen it about a third more than we were seeing.
Water Gardens is at 531 Kentucky Avenue in Joplin. When it comes to giving, you gotta start them young. That's the idea behind a class project at Anderson Elementary in Anderson, Missouri. Students are learning about giving through the project that pairs them with a charity. They research that charity, and using what they learn, they create a video promoting it.
Something that's been really inspiring is watching them realize that while they might not have all the resources at this point in their life, they have a voice, and that voice can really make a difference, that they can use that just by raising awareness, they're able to help other people. And I think that that's been something that's been exciting to watch them realize, and I think that's something that they're going to take away from this process.
You can check out the videos for yourself on the school's Facebook page. With just a week and a half left until Christmas, lawmakers on Capitol Hill have been in a race against the clock to get some things done. Last night, Congress passed a bill to raise the debt ceiling 1 day shy of a deadline set by the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen. Reporter Lauren Blanchard has more.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 49, and the joint resolution is passed.
Congress averted economic disaster overnight and sent a bill to the president's desk to raise the nation's debt ceiling by $2.5 trillion. Now lawmakers again shift their focus to the spending bill Democrats want done before Christmas, the president's nearly $2 trillion Build Back Better proposal.
Coming close.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi warns if Congress doesn't pass the climate and social spending bill now, Wednesday's expanded monthly child tax credits going to American families will be their last.
It's been used for food, for rent. It's essential.
But additional spending has Republicans concerned, particularly after also passing last month's nearly $1 trillion infrastructure bill, and with inflation on the rise.
We have raging inflation, we have raging debt, and we have raging spending, and if this bill passes, raging tax increases that are going to harm the economy and further drive the inflation problems we face today.
Inflation is the biggest concern of moderate Democratic holdout Senator Joe Manchin. He says he's still unconvinced the bill will help families now, despite ongoing talks with the president.
We're not quite there yet, hence the conversations will continue.
Wednesday, the Federal Reserve will lay out its plans to combat inflation and whether Americans can expect a hike in interest rates come 2022. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
A bit later, how scientists are trying to save Australia's koala population ahead of another potentially severe fire season.
Well, of course, a super windy day for us today. Temperatures record high 76, and then a line of showers and thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms, especially earlier in this line. As this storm system continues to race across the northern plains, it's kind of spreading apart. So as it continues to do that, it starts to weaken just a bit. Still pretty intense line of showers and thunderstorms, but we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings at this point in time. Doesn't mean we can't get any, as we still have a severe thunderstorm watch across southwestern parts of Missouri and then into northeastern Oklahoma. But the overall trend here is a weakening trend, which is good news. If you've already gotten the rain, your severe threat is gone for the evening hours. Let's go ahead and zoom in. We're going into the metro, strong storm on the west side of the city. This extends north toward Carl Junction, and then a moderate cell from Carthage over toward Jasper. And then as we track a little bit farther toward the south and to the west, pretty intense cell moving into western parts of Ottawa County, so this will affect Miami, Commerce, Quapaw. It's a strong cell. It's got winds at about 50 miles per hour, and then these extend a little bit farther south, southern parts of Nowata County, and then stretching a little bit farther south and west toward Tulsa. Overall trend, though, I think is a weakening trend. Again, we may get a random severe thunderstorm warning over the next couple hours, but in general, these are going to start to weaken, which is good. Still, we're going to have showers and thunderstorms, though. Let's go through time. Here's 11 p.m. Still scattered thunderstorms, strong along and south of Interstate 44. As we continue through the overnight hours, here's about 12:30 in the morning. Scattered thunderstorms, southern counties, and then after this point in time, these are pretty much gone, and then we don't have to worry about showers or thunderstorms anymore through the overnight hours. You can't see the lightning. We're looking at indigo sky. Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri, right on the west side of the town. Temperatures ahead of the storm still into the 70s, and then we're dropping behind it, mainly into the 50s and 60s as a little bit cooler air is starting to work in. The winds were crazy today. We had winds gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour. Behind the showers and thunderstorms, not as strong, but the winds will pick back up a little bit as we go into the overnight hours tonight. But you can see the storm system racing north, so as it spreads apart, it starts to lose a little bit of its energy. Here's our next wave. This will start to affect us tomorrow night into Friday, bringing more rain, even a few showers and thunderstorms back in. Let's go into Thursday. We'll have clouds in the morning. We'll get partly sunny skies during the afternoon. Temperature is quite a bit cooler, but not bad. Still above average for this time of the year. 51 by noon, high temp right around 56 degrees. And then tomorrow night, clouds will start to increase again. We'll start to get some showers back in here by Friday morning with on and off showers sticking around on Friday. 56 tomorrow, 62 Friday, cooling down, but still not bad for the middle of December. Partly sunny skies over the weekend, high temps into the mid 40s.
What a wild week it has been, and boy, tonight.
Just a crazy day out there.
It's nice it's moving out.
Yes.
Thanks, Doug. And we are still taking your calls for our Feed the Four States telethon, but only until the top of this hour. Hello, phone bank. Hi. Thanks for taking the calls. Hey, everybody out there, just have your credit card or debit card ready. Dial 1-888-620-4869. Thank you, Cindy Smart of Joplin, for your $25 donation. Thank you, Donna Betzer of Joplin, for your donation as well. Know that your money will be well spent feeding families who really need it right here in our communities. Please give us a call right now. Again, that number 1-888-620-4869. Coming up in sports, a pair of local student athletes signed to continue their careers at the Division I level. Plus, Pitt State hits the floor for a doubleheader against Lincoln. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Pivoting, series premiere Sunday, January 9th on Fox.
We have a pair of big-time local signings this afternoon with two local kids signing to continue their careers at the Division I level. And both are headed to the Big 12. And we're going to start in Frontenac with Landon Dean signing to continue his football career in college. Dean is headed to Stillwater to play for Mike Gundy and the Oklahoma State Cowboys. He'll play on the defensive line at Oklahoma State. Dean, 6'5", about 250. Just a monster, man. He racked up 71 tackles and 11.5 sacks as a defensive end this fall for Frontenac, leading the team to a state runner-up finish in the 3A playoffs.
I built good relationships with the coaches. I really think I fit in with the Cowboy culture down there, and it's an exciting place, and I can't wait to get down there and get started.
First off, you see his size. That's going to be a big part of it, and then his work ethic in the weight room. He loves football. He's a great teammate. He's excited to get down there. He knows it's going to be a great challenge moving from Frontenac to Oklahoma State and the competition level and the size and all that. But he's ready for the challenge, and I know he's going to work hard.
Goal going in there is just to work as hard as I can, do everything I can do to be the best player that I can be, go in there, put some weight, and just work hard in the weight room to get better.
In Joplin, we have another athlete headed to Oklahoma. Joplin High School senior Donovan Fowler signs today to continue his track and field career with the Oklahoma Sooners. Fowler will compete in the long jump and triple jump at OU. He holds the school record in both events at Joplin High School. He's no doubt one of the best coming out of Missouri, and actually one of the top-rated jumpers in the nation in the class of 2022.
It feels absolutely amazing, and it also feels amazing seeing the city of Joplin coming out to support me and everything that I've been through. They've supported me from the ground up, and I really appreciate that, and I couldn't have done it without them. It took a lot of training, and my dad helped out, especially being a personal trainer. He would work on my fast twitch movements, and then here at the high school we have a great weightlifting staff that would help me build muscle from there too.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas are back on the floor tonight in MIAA play, hosting the Lincoln Blue Tigers. On the women's side, the Gorillas are 7-2 in their first 9, including a 3-1 mark in the MIAA. And PSU looking for their third straight win and 7th in their last 8 games. Aaron Davis, corner 3. She finishes with 15. Then Grace Pyle lays it in. Gorillas put up 28 in the first quarter. A pass here goes to Ariana Carter. Spins and the jumper is good. Less than a minute left in the half though. Tristan Gegg, nice pass to Corinna Gerber. Gerber in double figures as well with 13. And look at this, Emma Martin at the third quarter buzzer. Gets it to go off the glass. Later, more from Pyle. Long range this time. Gorillas really good off the bench tonight. Pyle leads with 16. Pitt State rolls over Lincoln 88-60.
I think it just tells you that our bench is always engaged, and you know, when our numbers are called, we're coming up and we're going to pick our teammates up when they need a lift, and you know, next man up mentality.
Everybody came in and they scored, and I think that's really, really cool to see on the stat line for people that don't play as much as they usually do.
To the men's game, Gorillas try to avoid a 4th straight loss. First game back, Quentin Hardrick knocks down the 3. 13 points for him tonight. Then Chuck Wilson drives to the net on the other side, banks it in for 2. Blue Tigers with the lead. Ike Moore here going baseline. He scores. Then Isaiah James hits the triple. Big night for James. He finishes with 30. Still trailing here. Antonio Givens gets the bucket in the paint. Pitt State gets the comeback win tonight, 86-75. Well, tonight's championship night at the Lady Mustang Classic at McDonald County High School. The Carl Junction Bulldogs are in the title game facing Bentonville West tonight. This one actually still going. Carl Junction trails 49-40 with less than 5 minutes to go. After this, Bulldogs have the rest of 2021 off before returning to the floor on January 3rd against McDonald County. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
When you give, Hope Mark.
Our Feed the Four States Telethon is almost over. If you haven't donated yet, please get a debit or credit card ready and dial 1-888-620-4869. Your donations will help stock area food pantries like Crosslines and Wesley House. You can also donate online at koamnewsnow.com/feed, or you can donate non-perishable food items at drop-off locations across the area until December 31st. But if you want to donate now, that number again is 1-888-620-4869. Australia's iconic koalas are under threat as the country prepares for another potentially severe fire season. Scientists are rushing to help protect the creatures and their habitat. Reporter Tina Kraus has more.
These are memories Australians and koalas would like to leave behind. But forecasters predict another fierce fire season, putting the tree-climbing creatures at risk once again.
So traditionally, koalas would be able to head to the top of a tree and escape a low-burning fire. But when they move so quickly and so fast like that, there's not as much opportunity to avoid them and escape them.
More than 60,000 of the treasured national icons were either killed, injured, or displaced during wildfires over the last couple of years. Conservationists say koalas are now struggling to survive because they're losing their habitat as more trees are cut down and areas are built up.
We are the problem, and we need to do a lot better to help these guys live where they live, because they were here before us.
Climate change is also a threat as koalas struggle with heat-related stress and dehydration.
This is unprecedented, and we're in tipping point times. And all these things eventually will have major impact, not just on koalas, but all the other animals that live in the same habitat.
Campaigners are urging Australia's government to plant more trees and protect more land to help save the home of one of the country's most adored animals.
Coming up, we'll sit down with the cast of one of the year's biggest movies, Spider-Man: No Way Home. One of the most anticipated movies of the year, Spider-Man: No Way Home, swings into theaters this weekend. And we caught up with the cast, who opened up about how their characters have evolved. Reporter Ashley Dvorkin has the story.
How do you tell someone that you're Spider-Man?
Tom Holland is back as the web-slinging superhero in Spider-Man: No Way Home.
These three films as a collective have been a coming-of-age story. I think this final film is the final chapter of Peter Parker becoming a man.
I've just been thinking about how to fix all of this.
Taking place immediately after the events of the second film, Far From Home, Peter Parker turns to Doctor Strange for help after his secret identity is revealed to the world. But the encounter turns the world upside down and forces Peter to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man.
He is having to deal with a world and life of fame, but unfortunately, different to us, his life of fame is that everyone thinks that he's a mass murderer, so he's having to navigate that.
Zendaya and Jacob Batalon's characters, MJ and Ned, also go through their own evolution.
As we've gotten to know MJ, she's always had this really tough exterior and this shell that she puts up to the world to protect herself. And I think now that she's found people that really care about her and who she feels she can trust, she can let that wall down.
I think he, from the beginning, has always wanted to be part of the action, and now he really gets to be. He will have more of an impact than he realizes. Yeah.
Marissa Tomei, who returns as Aunt May, says fans won't be disappointed.
I'm so excited for them to see the film. I think there's going to be one thing after another that's just really a surprise. I don't even know all the surprises myself.
Hello, Peter.
The popular neighborhood hero swings into theaters Friday. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us, and thank you to everyone who donated to the Feed the Four States Telethon. A reminder, you can also donate online at koamnewsnow.com/feed, or you can donate non-perishable food items at drop-off locations across the area until December 31st. We're going to leave you with video of lion cubs playing at a German zoo. Let's make it a great tomorrow.